my channel. Today I have a book haul from the month of May. I have been going absolutely insane with buying special editions. I even found two of my unicorns, which I will share later on in this video, but I have gone absolutely insane. There was this one day that I spent the entire day in Facebook just in buy, sell, trade books, and that's how I found so many of the books that I got for this video. It's insane. I'm trying to be better about it and trying to behave because obviously special editions are pricey. But yeah, I even bought some that obviously I don't have yet because they haven't shipped. They just put them up for sale. So, but yeah, I was able to get some fantastic ones. So I'm super excited to get them. But for now, I'm going to show the ones that I got for this month. And I got probably around like 5 or 6 special editions, which is insane for me. So yeah, let's get on with this video. Putting a pause on this book haul, I just want to showcase my t-shirt, That's Little Crow. If you guys have not read Gothicana by Runyx, what are you waiting for? It's gothic, dark romance, age gap, student teacher. It's hot, it's amazing. It's like paranormal-ish slash psychological-ish. It's a bit of dark academia aesthetics. It's secluded college. Amazing.
Brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular.
This shirt is by Crafty Elise. I'm gonna leave my code, also a link down below so you guys can get this gorgeousness, because that, if you guys have read Gothicana, then you know, you understand. If you haven't, this is your sign to go pick it up. The very first book that I received this month was a special edition, and that was A Lesson in Thorns by Simone. This is the last chapter bookshop. So I actually got this from a friend of mine, Jamie Reeds. She's been selling, just kind of unhauling some of her books, and as soon as I saw that this one was up for sale, I was like, I want that one. I need it in my life. So I immediately got it. I read this back in 2019 when this book came out. It was actually the very first book that I posted on my Instagram. I don't remember anything about it except that there's an orgy at a church. That's all I know. But yeah, it's hot. I mean, it's Sierra Simone. You guys know that if Sierra Simone writes it, it's gonna be pretty spicy. It's bookstore trip. I don't know if you guys remember the previous video that I posted. Basically, I went in not really thinking that I was gonna buy anything, to be honest, but I saw this on there, and this is a book that Jordan from Sips of Fiction has talked about, and she says that it's really good. She said that she's wanting to get the second one and just kind of keep reading the other books in this world series, however it's called. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, you know what, might as well get it, and I'm very, very, very intrigued. It reminded me a little bit of the Midnight Library, but I know it's not like that. So basically what this book is about is this cafe in Tokyo. I mean, who doesn't like cafes, right? So it's this cafe in Tokyo that not only do they serve coffee, but apparently they can also help you travel back in time. But of course, traveling back in time is not as easy as it sounds. There are rules that they need to follow, and like the title says, the time traveling only lasts as long, you know, before the coffee gets cold. That to me was like, it's so intriguing. Next book that I got was by Jess Taylor, Forget Me Not. This is actually a book that I read back in February, and I absolutely adored it to the point that I was so grateful for the opportunity to beta read the second book, Bleeding Hearts. Absolutely amazing. I mean, this cover is already gorgeous. The sequel's cover is like even better, and I don't even understand how, because this is already stunning enough. This book literally starts with a bang. It's from the very first chapter. It's painful, it hurts you, it's like it's a cry fest pretty much. You're just like in shock the entire time as well. And because of something that happened to this character, to the main character, she's like made it a rule because people always leave. So she's made it a rule to never get attached to anyone, just kind of keep everybody at a distance. But one look at our guy Caden Pierce, just one look at him, and all that rule goes out the window. It has a little bit of fake dating, best friend's brother. It's honestly, you guys, this is a book that I truly cannot recommend it enough. There's also a lot of spice. Caden Pierce has a dirty mouth. His dirty talking is A+ with a lot of praise. I was like, excuse you? I was not expecting this book to be that way, but you guys, do not let the cover fool you. It's top tier. These next 4 books that I'm going to be showing are actually from Mystic Box. In case you didn't know, Mystic is a bi-monthly dark romance subscription. Features amazing dark romance authors such as Penelope Douglas, H.G. Carlton, Amo Jones, Bella Aurora, and so many, Pam Godwin, so many that I know that I'm missing off the top of my head. They currently have a wait list. I highly suggest that you guys sign up for that wait list. And trust me, you guys, it's worth it. And whenever you guys receive your invite for the subscription, just make sure to use my code Genesis10 so that you can get 10% off your very first box. And they also are going to be having a general sale very soon for, I think, depending on when this goes live, maybe the Mindfuck series has already been sold, but there's also going to be Penelope Douglas Nightfall, as well as Fire. The 2 novellas in the Devil's Night series are also going to be a general box, you know, a general sale, so anybody can try to get them. So these are the 2 books that came in Amo Jones' box, In Peace Lies Havoc and In Fury Lies, I don't know how to pronounce that word, mischief? I don't know how to pronounce it. They are just absolutely stunning. Just look at the interior. You guys, just listen to this. This is like my favorite part. Well, I have many favorite parts, but like what the introduction, it says, "Welcome to Midnight Mayhem. We're not a circus. We are not a carnival. And the only thing that you should be afraid of losing tonight is your sanity." And that's exactly what it is. Like, it's a lot of mind fuckery going on in this book. You're just like, what the fuck just happened? And I love how Amo, because this is, again, it's not a circus, it's not a carnival, but it's really hard to explain. Okay, it's like, I say it's kind of like an R-rated Cirque du Soleil. That's the best way, and even then it falls short. But I just love, because there's a lot of art in terms of like performances and dancing and all of that stuff. I love how the author included a Spotify playlist. And the way that I was reading this book was, as soon as a song would pop up introducing kind of like a performance, I would immediately put on the song, and you just completely transport yourself into that part of the story. And I was like, it was just absolutely insane the way that she did it. And just these books, this very first one, hands down my favorite. And it's just, if you guys have not read Amo Jones, this is truly a great introduction to her writing. She writes very dark romance, and I understand her writing is not for everybody, because her writing is chaotic, messy, all over the place, and I say that as a compliment. She does a fantastic job. I don't know how she does it. She throws in so many twists and turns, and you're just like, how does that even make sense? And then the ending comes, and you're like, it's like, how does she do it? I don't know. Let me say that, and I will always say this, Twitch, the male main character from these books that I'm going to show you, he walked so Zayd Meadows could run. He is the OG stalker. Look at these prints that came with the books. This was my very first, I'm pretty sure this was my very first stalker romance, and I remember being like, now there are some scenes that are still very vivid in my brain. I read this back in 2019 or 2020, And there are a lot of scenes that are still extremely vivid in my brain where I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys. Honestly, you guys need to check these out. So obviously, these are a special edition, but you can find the books in Amazon. You can find them in, they're also in Kindle Unlimited if you guys want to get them immediately and you guys have a subscription. Highly, highly, highly recommend them. Look at this. Once again, check these books out. You guys will not regret it. If you're into stalker romance, these are the books to start with. You guys, again, you won't regret it. And remember, Twitch walked so Zayd could run. Okay? Next, we have The Ones We Fight For. And this book features Walker. He used to be like the one who just didn't care about anything, whatever, just living his own life. Unfortunately, tragedy struck, and now he has guardianship over his niece and nephew. And the one person that he doesn't want to look at, the one person that he never wants to see again because her father was the reason behind things that he went through. She is back in town and he just does not want anything to do with her. But unfortunately, she is after answers about the sins of her father. So of course she keeps running into him, wanting answers to her questions and stuff like that. And he's like, no, I don't want to talk to you, nothing to do with you. But of course, we know what happens. And I just love that. I love single parents, single dads, but I think I especially love when they have guardianship just because they were kind of thrown into this. And I feel like while they're navigating these things, they kind of also need the help of someone else, and that typically tends to be the female main character. I don't know if that's the case here. I'm hoping it is. He received Stinger, and this features Carlton. He is an adult film star. He typically knows what women want from him, obviously, because he is in the adult film star industry. So he kind of already knows what women want from him, and he just kind of like plays into that until, I think her name is Grace, yes, until Grace. She's the girl that follows the rules to a T. She's an extremely rule follower. She knows what she wants out of her life. She has dead set goals, of course, until him. They're thrown into a whole weekend where they get to spend a very steamy weekend together. But of course, their worlds cannot possibly coexist. And so I cannot wait to see how this unravels. It also features them being stuck in an elevator. So I cannot wait to read how it all unravels. Next, this is a book that you guys have definitely seen around. I feel like there's so much hype surrounding this book, and maybe you guys already know which one I'm talking about. It's a fantasy featuring dragons. You guys already know where I'm going with this. It's The Fourth Wing. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but Fourth Wing by Rebecca. I was able to snag a copy with the sprayed edges. Someone on Facebook was kind of going through different stores surrounding her area, and she was able to get them, and she was selling them at cost plus shipping. So I thought that's fantastic because so many people are selling them for like $75, $100, which is crazy to me. So I was able to get it. So that's so exciting. I actually started reading this one, and the way that I would say it's How to Train Your Dragon for adults. It's truly fantastic. I kept seeing the book online, and I was like, this book has to be overhyped. It just has to be overhyped. There's no way this book is, so many people are saying that it's fantastic. There's just no way. I started reading it and I was like, this is good. Oh, this is good. This is prime stuff right here. We have Violet. She's been training her entire life to go into the scribe quadrant. Unfortunately, her mother, because her mother, her sister, and her brother were all part of the writer's quadrant, her mother forces her to go into the writer's quadrant, something she has never really trained for, only a few weeks or months or something like that, whereas so many people train since they're kids. And it's basically to ride dragons, but it's not as simple as it sounds. She has to go through a lot of trials, a lot of things in order to prove that she can get to that point. not only that, the dragons are the ones that choose you, and if they don't deem you as you know, like a good person or valuable or anything like that, they will just burn you to a crisp. You may also escape and you can try again, but again, there's no guarantee that you may be selected by a dragon the following year. Violet, our girl, she is trying her hardest to become a writer. Unfortunately, there are so many other people that are after her because of just who she is, especially because her mom helped unalive some people, especially the male main character's father. So there's a lot of hate, enemies to lovers kind of situation going on. And you guys, his nickname for her is Violence. And it's like, it's everything. It's absolutely everything. The best part, the dragons talk, like communicate through the mind with humans, with the writers, and just seeing those interactions. It's like, they're sarcastic. They have their whole personality, and that just makes the book 100 times better, and I cannot wait to finish this one. I am unbelievably late to this train, and I still haven't read it, but I'm hoping to get to it this year, and that is Balance by Lucia Franco. I was able to find a signed copy online. I was able to find a signed copy, you guys. It's crazy. His age gap, deliciousness in the gymnastic world. She's a gymnast, he's a coach. She needs to leave home in order to be trained by the ultimate people that will make her a champion. Unfortunately, Kova, as soon as he sees her, interacts with her, he's like, immediate no, there's no way that he can get her to that level. But of course, they're thrown into it, and there's some lingering touches and lingering stares and all that good stuff. And this series is actually 6 books, which is insane, but so many people rave about it that I honestly cannot wait, especially because Dark and Disturbed shop just released their, I never know how to pronounce this word, omnibuses, whatever. They did 3 hardcovers, 2 books in each hardcover for this series. It sold out in 2 minutes. I was able to snag it in 1, which is insane. But yeah, I'm also getting those special editions, which is another reason why I want to dive into these. I also received another book from a fellow Bookstagrammer, upcoming author. She is about to release Lore of the Wilds. Her name is Annalise Brana, and her Instagram is literally xqueen. And her book gives me all the cottagecore vibes with fantasy, women of color, people of color, and it's just the cover is absolutely stunning, and I cannot wait to show that cover on June 9th on my Instagram, so make sure to check it out. And the book is already up for pre-order, so I'm gonna leave a link down below. So you guys, we gotta support our fellow Bookstagrammers with dreams of becoming an author, and she is one step away from making that a full reality. The book that I'm about to show you guys is one of the books that I've been searching for so long. And don't get me wrong, this book, this special edition, is being resold online. Problem is, prices go from $300 to $350. And I was like, I'm not spending that amount of money. I was lucky enough to find someone who was selling it for $35, which is insane to me. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, part of me even thought it was a scam. I was like, there's no way someone is selling that book for $35. But also at the same time, it's like, why would someone scam me for $35? It doesn't make sense. But of course, I've never seen anybody selling it for so little that I was just like going crazy. And as soon as it arrived, I about died. This is the book, you guys. I cannot recommend. This is another series that I cannot recommend enough. Hades Hyman series by Tilly Cole. It's absolute perfection. So it features a motorcycle club and a religious cult. This is again, motorcycle club dark romance series. So obviously check trigger warnings, because this one is heavy on the trigger warnings, and not the kind of trigger warnings that us dark romance readers love to read. It's extremely dark. So just want to put that out there. So this features Styx. Years and years and years ago, when he was a little kid, he had actually come across this religious cult, and he had met one of the girls that were being kept there, and her image, or just her, stayed in his brain for so long. Obviously, he was never able to find her again, even though he tried. Years pass, and the female main character, is actually able to escape the religious cult, and she ends up finding refuge in his motorcycle club. And to her, this is a whole new world. In the religious cult, phones didn't exist, cars didn't exist, so it's all like a whole new thing for her. And just everything that she went through, it's just absolutely insane. Tilly Cole did fantastic research on religious cults and victims' experiences and all that stuff, and it just absolutely just blows your brain to know the fact that there are people going through those things in real life, and it's just like, how? And it's just absolutely insane. You guys truly cannot recommend this series enough. Each book features a different character, a different couple, but the plot itself does travel through the book, so it's important to read them in order. This is another, I don't think this would be considered necessarily a special edition, because you can actually get it. You can actually find this book online, but you cannot get it with the sprayed edges, which is how I was able to find it. So these are the spread edges for Thorn Princess by L.J. Shen. This is basically a Hollywood princess who is intent on self-destructing, and the grumpy bodyguard who's unfortunately there to try to save her from herself in a way. Have not read this yet, but I have read L.J. Shen before, and I love her books, like so freaking much. She's a great author to dive into, like dark romance. Actually, this is an author I would consider kind of like Anna Huang, which is a gray romance, not light, not dark, right in the middle, gray romance. So this is definitely another author I would consider for that. Still amazing, still spicy, amazing plot, amazing characters. So I received a PR box for A Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina. I already binged this book from beginning to end. It's absolutely amazing. If you guys didn't know, this is a Little Mermaid meets Pirates of the Caribbean. Let that sink in. Little Mermaid meets Pirates of the Caribbean. I know. So this features Marin. She is a siren who makes a deal with the sea witch because she saw a prince and she fell in love with him and she wants to live with him. So she ends up getting her legs as she desires. She ends up living with him, but unfortunately she soon realizes that everything is not what it seems, and she has been wanting to escape this married life for the longest time. 10 years later, her and her husband and the prince, they get captured by a pirate, Captain Bones. They get captured by him, and of course some enemies, hate, tension, enemies to lovers start happening between them, and it's just absolutely glorious. And this is actually a fantasy, and the way that I would describe it is that the reason it's fantasy, it's because of all of these mythological creatures, but there's no heavy, world building or fantasy lingo or anything like that where you just have to kind of like concentrate really hard in order to understand it. Nothing of the sort. Again, the only fantasy really is just the fact that it has like sea witches and pet sharks and the kraken and sirens and that curses as well. It even has a skeleton crew. You guys remember Pirates of the Caribbean, the Black Pearl, the very first movie, the skeleton crew? It even has that, which is absolutely fantastic. Honestly, this book is so good. This is another book that I truly cannot recommend enough. Like, it's absolutely perfect. Karina Hale did a fantastic job in doing research for all of the myth and just everything that involved, especially Little Mermaid, because the Little Mermaid that she used for here, it's not the Disney version. It's actually the Grimm brothers, and she did truly a fantastic job. You guys, I was able to snag another unicorn, and that is Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. This is another Mystic edition. I'm telling you guys, Mystic does just absolute gorgeousness. Just look at those edges. I just absolutely adore Mystic's edition. So Sea of Ruin, if you guys have not read it, it's a historical dark romance featuring our female main character who's a pirate, and she's being looked out for. Like, people want her because of her being a pirate, and she ends up being captured by Ashley. He's one of the love interests, and there's also another love interest for her who she has history with. That's all I'm gonna say. But you guys, if you want some prime spicy goodness, this is the book for you. It's standalone. It's so good. Right from the start, you're just like right until the very end. And also a lot of some ice baths are definitely needed for this book. The last two books that I received along with this flower is the basically all men's duet by Kennedy Ryan, The Kingmaker, and The Rule Breaker. So this first book features Maxime. He wants absolutely nothing to do with his father's business. He is an oil mogul. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, you guys. Remember, English is not my first language. And he is just like wanting to run away from that, and he wants to build his own empire, even if that means becoming the black sheep of the family. Lennox is the one going against this oil pipeline going through her land of her ancestors, and that's how basically she meets Maxime. She's protesting. You get what I'm trying to say. That one moment changes absolutely everything for them. Unfortunately, Maxime is still obviously connected to his father, and she hates Maxime's father with a passion because of everything that he's doing to her ancestors' land. So Maxime throws in a few lies here and there in order to keep her, but of course, lying doesn't always work out. So this is where the Rebel King comes in, and this is the full-on completion of it. I actually forgot two more books that I got, and these are my absolute favorite of all time. And I can't believe I forgot about them. So these books are actually ones that I found through someone writing kind of like a negative review for them on Instagram. They posted the books, so I know that this person had them, and basically her caption just said that she was not a fan of them or whatever. So I literally messaged her and I was like, listen, if you ever want to get rid of those books, please let me know. I'll buy them from you. And that's how I was able to get these basically brand new condition cat and mouse duet. I love this duet so much. It's insane. So the fact that Mystic is also doing a special edition for this duet has me absolutely losing it. And I've been wanting to buy these books, but I don't know why, I just never bought them for some unknown reason. And so to finally have them, I cannot wait to annotate these books from beginning to end. I'm so freaking excited. So I feel like these books do not need any introduction, but just in case, dark romance, stalker, paranormal-ish things happening, a lot of trigger warnings, a lot of them. But I'm not going to say anything else because I feel like everybody already knows what these are about, or at least a big chunk. And if you don't, just literally look online and a lot of stuff will pop up. But I'm so happy. You guys don't even understand my happiness for finally getting these books at just paying shipping. I just paid shipping for these two books that are in absolute brand condition. So happy about this. And that concludes this book haul video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye.